Every choice changes everything. You are listening to Crossroads Story. Forgive, fall, rise. Amelia and Jake were a couple meant to be. Their love story blossomed in the small town of Maplewood, where they first met at a summer fair. Under twinkling lights, they shared laughter, dreams, and the promise of forever. For years, they nurtured their bond, spending weekends exploring nearby parks or simply sipping hot cocoa on cold winter nights. Jake often spoke about building a life together, starting a family and opening a quaint café where Amelia could showcase her baking skills. Their wedding day was set for a sunny Saturday in June, a day filled with hope and excitement. Friends and family gathered, eager to witness the union of two souls who seemed so perfectly matched. Amelia envisioned the aisle adorned with flowers, her white dress flowing like a gentle breeze. Little did she know that this day would become a whirlwind of emotions, forever changing the course of their lives. The sun rose brightly on the morning of Amelia and Jake's wedding, casting a warm glow over the picturesque garden venue. White tents fluttered in the gentle breeze, while cheerful flowers bloomed all around, creating a vibrant backdrop for the celebration. Excitement buzzed in the air as family and friends arrived, their smiles radiating joy. Amelia floated through the preparations, her heart racing with anticipation. She admired her reflection in the mirror, wearing a stunning lace gown that hugged her figure perfectly. Bridesmaids hurried around her, adjusting bouquets of fresh daisies, while laughter filled the room. In another part of the venue, Jake stood with his groomsmen, straightening his tie and sharing stories that made everyone chuckle. He couldn't wait to see Amelia walk down the aisle, glowing with happiness. As guests took their seats, a feeling of unity and love enveloped them all, setting the stage for what should have been the happiest moment of their lives. As the sun reached its highest point, guests settled into their seats and the music began to play. Amelia, radiant in her gown, took a deep breath, ready to walk down the aisle toward her future. Just moments before the ceremony was about to start, however, a sudden hush fell over the crowd. Jake's groomsmen exchanged uneasy glances when they realized he was nowhere to be found. Panic started to seep into the joyful atmosphere. Whispers of confusion spread among the guests. Despite the frantic search, Jake seemed to have vanished without a trace. Time stretched as Amelia stood waiting, her heart racing with uncertainty. The wedding planner tried to maintain calm, but the tension grew thick. Questions swirled in everyone's minds. Where could he be? Had something gone wrong? As seconds turned into minutes, Amelia's dreams of a fairy tale wedding began to shatter, replaced by a shocking reality no one could have imagined. Amelia stood at the altar, her heart pounding not with excitement but with overwhelming despair. Confusion washed over her like a cold wave as she tried to comprehend what had just happened. The laughter and joy that filled the air moments ago felt like a distant memory. As her friends rushed to comfort her, she felt a deep sense of betrayal creep in. How could Jake leave her on their wedding day? Days turned into weeks, and Amelia struggled to piece her life back together. She often found herself staring at her reflection, wondering what had gone wrong. Friends urged her to move on, but every corner of Maplewood reminded her of Jake, their favorite café, the park where they first kissed, and even the flowers he had once picked for her. In time, Amelia discovered solace in baking, pouring her emotions into sweet creations that brought smiles to others. Though the pain lingered, she began to find strength in herself, slowly learning to cope with the loss of a love she thought would last forever. As the years passed, Amelia gradually learned to navigate life without Jake. She poured herself into her baking, eventually starting a small pastry business called Amelia's Sweet Retreat. The shop became a cozy haven where locals gathered for her delicious treats and warm smiles, even as she battled her own emotions behind the counter. The journey wasn't easy. Some days were filled with laughter as customers praised her cakes, while other days brought memories of Jake flooding back, leaving her feeling hollow. Friends continued to support her, urging Amelia to find closure, but she often felt stuck in a loop of unanswered questions. She took long walks through Maplewood, hoping to find peace in the places that once held happy memories. Slowly, she began to embrace the idea that life could still be beautiful despite the heartache. Each day brought new challenges, yet with every baked good she created and every smile shared, Amelia found a little more strength to move forward and honor her past while building a new future. While Amelia worked hard in her bakery, Jake's life took a very different path after his sudden disappearance. Far from the cozy town of Maplewood, he found himself in a bustling city, overwhelmed by the weight of his decisions. As he transformed himself into a successful entrepreneur, building a chain of cafes, he wrestled with feelings of guilt and regret for abandoning the love of his life on what should have been their happiest day. Jake had always struggled with fear of commitment and the pressure to succeed. On their wedding day, the reality of tying himself to one person felt suffocating, and in a moment of panic, he fled. Despite his success, he felt a void that fame and fortune couldn't fill. He often caught glimpses of their memories in his cafes, each signboard etched with Amelia's name serving as a constant reminder of the love he left behind. As he built his empire, Jake grappled with the consequences of his choices, secretly wishing he could turn back time and face the truth instead of running away. As the years passed, Jake's chain of cafes flourished, quickly becoming a popular destination in the city. His hard work and determination transformed him into a well-known entrepreneur, and he reveled in the success that came with it. Each cafe was adorned with beautiful signboards, each bearing Amelia's name, a bittersweet reminder of the love he had left behind. Despite the bustling life he had built, Jake often found himself haunted by thoughts of Amelia. He remembered her laughter, her dreams, and the life they had planned together. The emptiness inside him grew deeper with every passing day, as he realized that no amount of success could fill the void her absence created. Jake tried to move forward, but every time he glanced at a sign or encountered something that reminded him of their past, regret washed over him. He longed for a second chance to make things right, hoping one day he could find the courage to face his mistakes and seek forgiveness from the woman he once loved deeply. As Jake's cafes flourished, the signs that advertised them became an ever-present reminder of his past. Each beautiful signboard, adorned with elegant lettering, prominently featured Amelia's name as a tribute to the woman he once loved. At first, he thought it was a creative branding choice, something unique to set his cafes apart, but over time, it became a burden he couldn't escape. Every time he drove past his cafes or walked inside, the sight of her name stirred up memories he tried to suppress. It echoed through his mind, bringing forth images of their wedding day, the vows they never exchanged, and the dreams they had woven together. The juxtaposition of success and regret weighed heavily on him, reinforcing the bond between them that he had severed. While customers praised his pastries and enjoyed their meals, Jake felt an invisible string tethering him to Amelia. Her name on every signboard transformed from a marketing strategy into a haunting reminder that their love story was still unfinished, lingering in the shadows of his life. One sunny afternoon, as Amelia was delivering pastries to a nearby cafe, she caught sight of a familiar sign glowing in the sun. Her heart skipped a beat when she realized it was one of Jake's cafes, a bustling place filled with laughter and the aroma of fresh coffee. As she approached, her breath caught in her throat at the sight of her name beautifully displayed on the signboard. Memories flooded back, happy moments with Jake, their dreams for the future, and the abrupt end to their story. Confusion and emotion swirled within her as she stood frozen, grappling with feelings of anger and longing. She hadn't expected to see a reminder of her past after all these years. Driven by a sudden urge for answers, Amelia entered the cafe. Amelia stepped inside the cafe, her heart racing as she scanned the room filled with laughter and chatter. Suddenly, her eyes locked onto Jake, who was behind the counter, looking just as surprised to see her. The moment felt surreal, a collision of their past and present. For a heartbeat, time seemed to stand still as they both took in the reality of their unexpected reunion. Gathering her courage, Amelia approached him, her emotions swirling like a storm. "Why did you leave?" she finally asked, her voice steady despite the tremor in her heart. Jake's expression shifted from shock to regret as he recalled the pain he had caused her. As they talked, the walls between them began to crumble. Jake shared his fears about commitment and how the pressure had overwhelmed him that day. Amelia listened, feeling a mixture of anger and empathy rise within her. This open exchange allowed them both to confront their choices and the impact those decisions had on one another, paving the way for healing and understanding they had long sought. As their discussion deepened, Amelia and Jake explored the journey each had taken since that fateful day. Jake shared his battles with guilt, admitting how every success felt hollow without Amelia by his side. "I thought running away would make it easier," he confessed, tears glistening in his eyes. Amelia listened intently, her heart softening as she recalled her own struggles to heal from the betrayal. There were nights filled with loneliness and tears, weeks spent trying to move on while still feeling tethered to him. "I wanted to hate you for leaving, but I found forgiveness instead," she said with a gentle resolve. In that moment, they both realized forgiveness was not just about absolving one another. It was also about freeing themselves from the burdens they had carried for years. As they talked about their hopes for the future, a sense of liberation filled the air. They began to envision a path forward not just as individuals, but perhaps as friends reconnecting over shared memories, ready to embrace the possibilities together. As Amelia and Jake parted ways after their emotional reunion, they both felt a sense of renewal. The years apart had shaped them in profound ways. Amelia had transformed her pain into passion through her bakery, learning resilience and the power of self-love. Meanwhile, Jake had encountered success yet had fought an internal battle, realizing that true fulfillment comes from connection rather than achievement. Reflecting on their shared journey, they understood the importance of cherishing their memories while acknowledging the lessons learned from their past. Jake felt a weight lift, freeing him from the guilt that had haunted him for so long, while Amelia recognized that forgiveness was a gift she could give to herself as much as to him. Though they might walk different paths moving forward, both characters emerged stronger and wiser. Embracing the possibility of friendship, they looked ahead with hope, ready to create new memories while honoring the love they once had, not as a burden, but as a beautiful part of their individual stories. Another story ends. Another crossroad crossed. Subscribe now for more tales of love, betrayal, and redemption.